Cosmetic surgeries are increasingly popular in our world, and there are many different reasons why people get them. Sometimes they can help with a medical issue, but sometimes they're simply to just change something about yourself that you don't like. While this is a perfectly reasonable explanation, there are some people who have had to find out the hard way that the grass simply isn't always greener on the other side. That is why today we will be counting down the top 10 celebrity plastic surgery disasters. I am your host today, Olivia Kozlowski. Some of you may know me from over on Most Amazing Top 10, which is a sister channel of this one, and if you don't know me from there, then it's about time that you head over there to check out that channel, but not until we're finished with today's list. Let's get into it. Starting off this list in our number 10 spot, we have Tara Reid. You may know Tara Reid from the insane American Pie movies, but you may just know her from her unbelievable plastic surgery nightmare. She underwent both a breast augmentation as well as some body contouring and was left most definitely unsatisfied. She called her post-op belly the most ripply and bulgy thing. She had a hernia that was just next to her belly button, and this caused her to lose out on a lot of work. In terms of her breast augmentation, the trouble came at none other than Diddy's 35th birthday party. Unfortunately, a nip slip on the red carpet left the whole world privy to what Tara wanted to keep a secret. Her breast augmentation was certainly not done correctly, and this left her with some disfigurements on her chest. Tara explained how absolutely mortified this made her, while also talking about how this was one of the dangers of not thoroughly researching surgeons before going through with these procedures. The good news, however, is that Tara ended up going under the knife again, this time with a board-certified surgeon, and she was much happier with her results the second time around. Before I dive into this one, guys, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you're enjoying the video so far. In our number 9 spot today, we have Dana Delany. Dana Delany is a Desperate Housewives star who opened up about one of the worst fears of every cosmetic procedure patient, Dr. Error. In 2003, she went in for some botox. Well, her dermatologist was actually convincing her to try it, but this quickly went awry when he injected it into her forehead and ended up striking a nerve. This created a huge hematoma, and it killed the nerve that was unfortunately struck. This ended up affecting the muscle in her right eye, which caused the eye to begin to droop slightly. While talking about it, she said, "I notice it more than anyone else, but I was symmetrical before, and now I'm not." Since this experience, she has sworn off any other kinds of plastic surgery, and we truly cannot blame her one little bit. In our number 8 spot today, we have Reid Ewing. You may know Reid Ewing from Modern Family, but he certainly has been candid in opening up about his tumultuous plastic surgery journey. His trouble wasn't really the procedures being done, but much more to do with what was going on internally and the driving force behind these procedures. Reid has explained that when he first went under the knife in 2008, it was to help cope with his body dysmorphia, as he figured he would come out on the other end looking like Brad Pitt. Unfortunately, this obviously wasn't the case. He first of all talked about the unbelievable pain that some of these surgeries cause, saying he woke up screaming and crying his head off from the pain. This didn't stop him though, as he continued to have procedures done throughout the years, and for the times he was on camera, he had already removed the implants that were in his face and was trying to have less invasive procedures done. He has now stopped getting surgeries, and he has since said it's a horrible hobby and it will eat away at you until you have lost all self-esteem and joy. He said, "I wish I could go back and undo all of the surgeries. Now I can see that I was fine to begin with and didn't need the surgeries after all." In our number 7 spot today, we have Kenny Rogers. This late country crooner is well known and loved by many, but after living a life in the limelight as he got older, he began to experience a desire for some cosmetic procedures. In 2006, he went in to get a procedure done as he felt like he had too many wrinkles around his eyes and wanted to fix that. Well, this quickly took a turn, as Kenny was certainly not happy about the work that had been done this time around. He explained that the area around his eyes was now way too tight, and he actually said he hated it. He said he went to one of the best surgeons, but the doctor had this idea that the edge of your eyes needed to be at a certain height, which is what left Kenny with regrets. Kenny was sure to always keep his spirits up though, as he had previously explained he had no idea what he would look like if he hadn't done it, and he said, "You either do it or you live with it." In our number 6 spot today, we have Farrah Abraham. Farrah Abraham is most definitely not a stranger to the world of plastic surgery in any way, but even those who go to the extremes can still have some negative surgery experiences. While trying out a new experimental lip procedure, she certainly got some less than satisfactory results. The procedure was an attempt in putting in an implant in the lip, but apparently she had some sort of allergic reaction during the procedure, which left her with some interesting results. The good good news is that she was able to keep a positive attitude about the situation as well, making light of her goofy appearance while posting photos of it. At the end of the day, it surely isn't easy to constantly be recreating your look with surgery. In our number 5 spot today, we have Priscilla Presley. Priscilla Presley was obviously the wife of the famous late Elvis Presley, but at some point, fans began to notice some changes in her appearance. She began to get quite a few procedures, including injections as well as facelifts, which is truly all fine and well, but the trouble came when she fell victim to an unlicensed cosmetic surgeon. This so-called doctor gave Priscilla cheek injections, but used both techniques and products that were unapproved. Apparently, the silicone that they used in Priscilla's cheeks was more like what mechanics would use to grease car parts. This person actually ended up going to jail for the little operation they had going on, so it certainly was a very bad situation. Some other victims of this doctor were left with much worse than a less than great surgery job. Some were left with lumps, paralysis, and even holes in the face. In our number 4 spot today, we have Courteney Cox. Courteney Cox is super famous, of course, for her role as Monica Geller on Friends, but unfortunately, she fell victim to some terrible plastic surgery advice. Doctors began suggesting fillers for her, and of course, we would all trust the doctors, right? Well, Courteney did, but this led her down a road of multiple layers upon layers of cosmetic enhancements that she didn't like, and it left her feeling unlike herself. After all this money and all those procedures, she ended up making the decision to get all the filler in her face dissolved. She's now natural and explained that she feels better now because she thinks she looks like herself. Courteney is a strong example of how important it is to make plastic surgery decisions for yourself and not because anyone else thinks it's right for you. In our number 3 spot today, we have Jennifer Grey. Jennifer Grey was super well known after her iconic role in Dirty Dancing, which is still one of the most classic movies out there. But after her great success, getting a nose job was one of the worst decisions she made. The surgery itself went totally fine, but it was the unknown repercussions of this surgery that left Jennifer questioning why she ever did it in the first place. After her nose job, she found herself unable to book roles the same way she had been before. She said she went into the operating room a celebrity and came out anonymous. She calls it the nose job from hell, as it totally sent her career in a downward spiral, which is unbelievably frustrating. This certainly is no fault of her own because she, of course, is not a fortune teller, and this truly is just an unfortunate circumstance that she found herself in. She says she'll always be this once famous actress nobody recognizes because of a nose job. In our number 2 spot today, we have Yolanda Hadid. You may know Yolanda from her time on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills or her super famous supermodel daughters, but she has quite an interesting plastic surgery story. Yolanda didn't have extensive surgery, but she did have breast implants as well as fillers and botox. In the end, it was her battle with Lyme disease that gave her troubles and complications with her cosmetic procedures. She explained that she believed that these procedures were complicating her illness and worsening the symptoms she was experiencing. In 2015, she had her implants removed after her doctor discovered one had ruptured and was leaking silicone into her chest cavity. She later went on to have her filler dissolved as well. She posted a selfie on Instagram where she discussed it in the caption, and she said, "Living in a body free of breast implants, fillers, botox extension, and all that BS I thought I needed in order to keep up with what society conditioned me to believe what a sexy woman should look like, until the toxicity of it all almost killed me. I am very glad Yolanda was able to make the decisions that she saw were right for her and her health, because that truly is the most important thing." In our number 1 spot today, we have Heidi Montag. Heidi Montag is certainly no stranger to going under the knife, but in 2010, she took it a little too far. She explained that she had 10 procedures done in one day. If you were wondering what 10 procedures you could get on the same day, they were neck liposuction, a brow lift, a nose job revision, a chin reduction, getting her ears pinned back, a second breast augmentation, fat injections in her cheek, liposuction in her waist, hip, and inner thighs, Botox in her forehead, and butt implants. First, she opened up about her breast augmentation going too far. The second one took her to an F cup, and she realized that first of all, they were way too heavy for the rest of her body, but also she quickly found out that they can fall from your chest to your belly button, and hers were possibly on the way. So in 2014, she ended up getting the implants taken out and going to a C cup instead. She then opened up about how all of these surgeries in one day quite literally almost killed her. She actually died for a minute during these surgeries. She had to have 24-hour nurse care, and at one point, her security security had to call Spencer and explain that they were unsure if she was going to make it. The good news is that she did, so now she can warn others of the dangers of that many extensive procedures in one day. Alright guys, that has been our list for today. Thank you so much for checking it out. I've been your host, Olivia Kozlowski, and I hope to see you again very soon. Bye!